Whitman bringing you the weather. And let me tell you, I'm happy to say there's nothing but blue skies coming your way. There's nothing but blue skies coming your way. I'm happy to say there's nothing but blue skies coming your way. Blue skies coming your way. Blue skies coming your way. This is weather. Weather. This is weather. Weather. This is weather. Weather. This is weather. Weather. This is Dick Whitman bringing you the weather. This is Dick Whitman bringing you the weather. This is Dick Whitman bringing you the weather. And let me tell you, I'm happy to say there's nothing but blue skies coming your way.
It is Saturday, July 5th, and you are watching You Don't Watch Sports right here on the Feo Grande YouTube network. I am Bill Smith, and I'm joined as always by the man, the myth, the legend, Feo Grande himself, Omari Ellis. Omari, how was your sports week?
You know, it was nice. It was kind of quiet, but a nice sports week nonetheless. Not too much of a problem, you know. It's 4th of July, so, you know, we probably have the hot dog eating contest and stuff again. You know, how that goes. But yeah, good sports week.
All right, we're going to cover 3 topics here on You Don't Watch Sports, just to sprinkle a bit of sports information into your casual conversation as we are your guiding light through the sea that is sports talk. Topic number 1, really cool thing going on in WNBA I wanted to highlight today, Omari, the Commissioner's Cup. Now, it's kind of like their version of the NBA's in-season tournament, and it is we have a champion this year for 2025, and it was the Indiana Fever, led by Natasha Howard's 16-12 double-double MVP performance. They defeated the defending champion Minnesota Lynx to secure the 2025 Commissioner's Cup trophy.
Okay.
The first in franchise history. With the win, the Fever have raised over $23,000 for their selected community organization, Peace Learning Center. That was one of the things I wanted to highlight about this really cool part of the tournament, is that each team in the tournament selects a charity associated with their city. And so they're playing for the prize pool for the players, as well as playing for the charity to earn money the more wins they garner. If you're not aware, it is an annual in-season tournament within the WNBA regular season, featuring games that count towards the cup and the regular season standings. The team's best records in the cup play from each conference then compete in a championship game, with the winner receiving a portion of a $500,000 prize pool. So very similar to what the NBA has got going on now. And yeah, congratulations to the Indiana Fever. I saw Caitlin Clark and all of her internet fame the last couple years has been chosen as the captain for the East Side of the All-Star Game. So that'll be coming up here in I think 2 weeks. We'll probably highlight it then.
Okay. No, that sounds cool. And yeah, I like the idea of the in-season tournaments in both of these. You know, it's another reason
It
to
keeps
make.
some interest. The season's long.
It's a nice little, hey, here's the reason for the players to actually give a damn during regular season, and for you to give a damn because, hey, a trophy's a trophy at the end of the day, and $500,000 is $500,000 at the end of the day. Like, I know they're all rich, but they're less so in the WNBA, and we know, society and all that. But but 500,000 is $500,000. So I like the idea that they got that going on there, and hope they keep that going as well. Also, I mentioned the hot dog contest. Yes, Joey Chestnut returned and ate 70 hot dogs to reclaim his title. No, it's crazy.
Of course he does. Of course he does. What do you happen to know what second place was?
I do not know off the top of my head. I know there were people in the crowd yelling for someone to go for 52.
Kobayashi doesn't compete anymore, correct?
Kobayashi cannot compete in there. He is banned.
All right. Well, speaking of all-stars of the eating world, the all-star starters for the MLB baseball world have been named, and I wanted to run through them real quick, as well as a peek at our current standings because they've switched up a little bit here. In the American League, at catcher, you have Cal Raleigh. Really, no chance of anybody else here. He has been absolutely dominating. Ryan O'Hearn coming in at DH representing the Baltimore Orioles. You have Vladimir Guerrero Jr. from the Toronto Blue Jays at first base. Gleyber Torres is at second from the Tigers. Jose Ramirez, third baseman at the Cleveland Guardians. And you have Jacob Wilson from the A's at shortstop. That is a tough competitive position. And Aaron Judge in outfield, one of those again, no questions. Riley Green from Detroit, that super hot Detroit year is leading to Riley Green and Javier Baez both filling out the rest of the outfield spots.
That's crazy. The Tigers filling
the Tigers
up
are having a
spots.
killer year. National League starters, get ready for a lot of Dodgers. To start us off, we have at catcher and at DH and at first base, you have Will Smith, Shohei Ohtani, and Freddie Freeman. At second base, you have Ketel Marte representing the Arizona Diamondbacks. At third, Manny Machado from the San Diego Padres. Francisco Lindor from the New York Mets. Then you have Pete Crow Armstrong and Kyle Tucker at two outfield positions representing the Chicago Cubs, as well as Ronald Acuna Jr., the third and final outfield spot from the Atlanta Braves. Those are your American League and National League position player starters. We will have the rest of the roster filled out here soon, as well as our league's pitchers.
I happen to notice there's no Cardinals here on this All-Star list. That's unfortunate.
There are not. I think the one and only thing you could debate is second base, and Ketel Marte is a much larger name than Brendan Donovan, who could arguably have been. He's more than likely going to be the second baseman. He will be on the All-Star team, I would imagine.
And he just won't be a starter.
Baseman of the game for the National League. Okay. And then we might see some. We might see a couple of position players, and that's potentially a Nolan Arenado off of Legacy.
Okay.
And that's probably what we're going to see as a St. Louis Cardinals fan.
Okay.
A peek at our current standings, because we have a couple of things switched up here, Omari. In the American League East, it is no longer the New York Yankees atop the division. The Toronto Blue Jays are now 2 games up on the New York Yankees and leading the American League East. The Detroit Tigers, as we talked about in the All-Star Game selections, are now 12 and a half games up on their second place competitor, the Minnesota Twins. They have the AL Central in a stranglehold. In the American League West, the Houston Astros are now 7 games up on the Seattle Mariners. They are also starting to look like a very important team down the stretch. The National League East is another one that has flopped a little bit. The New York Mets are no longer up at the top of the division. The Philadelphia Phillies are up and only a half game up, right there neck and neck with the New York Mets. And then Miami is 11 games back from them in third place. So that is a 2-team race at this point. The Chicago Cubs are still on top of the National League Central with the Milwaukee Brewers 4 games at their heels and the St. Louis Cardinals 6.5 games back. And then in the National League West, we still have the Los Angeles Dodgers topping the division 8 games up beyond their nearest competitor, the San Diego Padres. That is a look at the MLB standings.
Okay. So, when you said the Mets had gotten taken over, I thought that they were going to be like us, one of the 11 games behind type deals, but no, it's only a game and a half behind or whatever for the Mets.
But there were times this season where there was a much larger gap.
Okay.
So it's closed quite significantly, and to be so anytime you have that means that one team is trending down and one team has been trending up. So
Yeah.
that ship could right and they could maintain, but right now it's one is trending upward and the other one is trending downward. So you got to keep an eye on that National League East.
Any injuries or anything that you know of?
Nothing big going on right now.
That could have caused like the decline for.
Oh no, it's nobody in particular is playing bad baseball.
Okay.
It's just New York Mets were playing great baseball and they've just cooled a little bit.
Okay. Cool. Well, it's still July. We still got about 3 more months of this season to go.
Yep. Next week we'll be marking our halfway point with the All-Star game.
So that's crazy. Like, I get it, and it's the American pastime, and I'm happy for baseball, like people like yourself that are heavy into baseball, that there's that many games for you. That's a lot of games. 10 times the amount of football games.
It's a lot of games.
Yeah.
Let's go on to topic number 3, Omari. AEW All In is just around the corner next weekend, and it's going to be on Saturday, a little bit earlier in the day. So I wanted to make sure we touched on it now before it was actively going on, possibly while we're doing our show next week. So we have just a few select matches. There's probably going to be a handful more by the time this goes off fully, but for right now, what is promoted? We have the men's and women's casino gauntlet matches. In here, we do have indicating that Mark Briscoe is slated in the number 1 slot and MJF is slated in the number 2 slot of the casino gauntlet. Omari, anybody come to mind? Anybody that you, because this is kind of their Royal Rumble moment.
Mm-hmm. It's like that where you can eventually have a surprise or a joker that ends up winning.
Happen. Anybody can be introduced from a joke act that's not like that gets to do their entrance and is not really effective for the rest of the match. A new hire.
It's usually, here's our new hire that's going to be the mysterious Joker, or here's MJF back from an injury that's going to be the Joker, because that happened one of the years or something when they started calling him the devil.
Mm-hmm.
But I have no idea. I have not been. I'm so disconnected from like the rumors of, oh, this WWE superstar with a big name got cut, and they're going to AEW where they're going to actually get to be pushed to be the champion we all think they deserve to be. Like every WWE superstar that goes to AEW and finally gets that push to be the champion we all think they're supposed to be. I just hear it every time with the IWC whenever anybody gets cut.
Oh,
That is the thing. That said, I haven't heard anybody getting cut recently that people think is going to be the next big AEW superstar. And I don't know game enough with New Japan to be like, oh, this Bullet Club member just left and he's gonna be great. I don't know nothing like that.
yeah. On the women's side of things, you've got a maybe a formerly Cora Jade. I believe it's Elena Black now.
Okay.
Maybe you got her. You got Dr. Britt Baker, who's been
coming back
off screen for quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she's a good call. They love them some Britt Baker at AEW.
Based on the social media videos that are being released, granted those could be held and then posted later, but based on the videos, I don't see this being an Eddie Kingston moment, but because I think we're a little too early with his recovery, based on the videos of him, like of his physical therapy training and stuff.
Gotcha.
I don't think, based on those, I don't think he would be in the match necessarily.
That's what you're saying. Okay, yeah.
But I mean that's this kind of moment is what we're looking for, and I'm not any particular legends or you can have, this is the moment where you could have a Matt Cardona.
I would love for Matt Cardona to end up on somebody's roster. I understand he's still killing it as the indie god or whatever in the independent
You just like
scene.
to see him on TV, no matter what company it's on. Yeah.
Yeah, whether it's AEW or WWE, Danhausen
for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's put them back on TV. That said, I got nobody. You know what? Because I got nobody for the men's, I'ma say Matt Cardona. Women's, I like your Britt Baker idea for like the surprise comeback, or somebody else that is synonymous with AEW women's or men's divisions, but we don't can see them because they've been injured for so long. But I don't know ball enough with modern day AEW to speculate on. We ain't seen so and so in months. It's time.
Yeah, I mean you see them, but I feel like they could get like two people that could use character reestablishment of winning this tough match and also getting the guaranteed title shot afterwards. I'm looking at a Jamie Hayter or a Thunder Rosa.
Okay.
As far as like their TV time hasn't been the greatest time recently, when they are on TV, and they don't get a ton of it. So I would maybe go those two directions. You also got the new beast of a woman that I think they're really trying to back hard is oh my God, I just had her in my head, and then as I was saying the sentence, her name left. Megan Bain.
Okay, I feel like I've heard that name.
I feel like that's wrong. Either way, could be should be a big deal in the company. So maybe this could be a match where a lot of people are going to get involved. She could dominate someone and get a pinfall while the others are occupied, and still leave open a lot of feuds. Not have to dominate some of your big stars necessarily. This would be a good match for that. Let's go on to the current tag match that's being announced. I think we're also probably going to get a remaining members of Death Riders versus the Ops kind of
All
match as
right.
well, but I don't believe it's been officially announced. We have Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay tagging together versus the Young Bucks. Now the Young Bucks have put their EVP ship on the line in this match. In exchange for that, Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland have put on the line that they would not challenge for titles for a year if they lost this match.
So,
I think singles titles, potentially even exclusively world titles, is the stipulation there, and it's not, and winning it would not. They don't earn the EVP ships.
the other people
It's
just
just
lose it.
deleted from the Young Bucks.
Yeah. So the Young Bucks lose.
Yeah, you could do that.
Like,
Or you could you could do Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland not challenging for a world title for a year. And continue them as a tag team for a little while, then maybe do a story of them devolving as a tag team. There's a world where you could keep them occupied, I think.
could you keep them occupied? Yes. But would your AEW fans who have been crying for these two to have their title reigns?
Yes, but they've also been wanting Hangman to have a better title reign than he had last time a long time ago in their eyes. They're also crying for Darby Allin to have a title reign. It's going to be hard for both of them to have a lengthy title reign if Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay are standing right there as very credible champions. I don't know. I like the story of what we'll talk about later.
Uh-huh.
If the ending of this show is like a Avengers Assemble moment of baby faces of AEW rise up and stop the Death Riders interference and that kind of stuff. I love the idea of Swerve Strickland having to do that completely altruistically. There's nothing for him to personally gain from it anymore.
Yeah.
It's no longer like, oh, it's on like, you know, if he runs out and he kicks John Moxley in the head, or if he stops Claudio Castagnoli from interfering or something, then he gets to come out on Dynamite the next week and be like, Hangman, I helped you get that title. Now you gotta,
Yeah.
you and I gotta run it back again. And I would love to see that, and I don't think that that's not going to happen necessarily. But I love the idea of him not having that option, and so him getting involved is truly his character being like, this is the right thing to do. We have to do this kind of thing. I love that full circle character motivation. That's the only reason why I would say Will and Swerve lose this match. Also, if you're lining up these other baby faces in your company, a lot of people also say that MJF needs another run. There are lots of vocal segments of your fan base. So
MJF's a heel though.
well, I know, but I'm like,
Oh, you're just saying baby faces to challenge for it.
yeah. If you're deleting 1 year, then we can have Hangman having an okay run where it's removed by MJF, where he has an okay run where it's removed by Darby Allin, and then he has an okay run where then it's removed by Okada.
Yeah.
And then you have and then you're set up for another heel for Will. Now it's been a year, and Will Ospreay has gone through his year of turmoil,
Yeah.
and it's Ospreay versus Okada for the AEW World Title kind of thing. That we were talking about it the other day. You blink and it's a year. That shit goes by so fast.
Yeah.
All right, speaking of Okada, let's move on to the unification match, Omari. The AEW Continental title and the AEW International title are being unified into the AEW
Intercontinental title, yeah.
into the AEW Unified Championship.
I know you've been calling for these titles to be unified for like what feels like the last year. So I know you're happy about this match. It's finally
And I mean,
happening.
on top of it, it's Okada Omega 5 or something like that. And the first one on major American television. So
Oh wait, all of them's in Texas this year?
yeah.
Oh, I thought with them starting at noon is because they were still in Europe.
No.
Oh, okay. Interesting. But yeah, Okada Omega.
And it's noon Pacific time, so it's going to be 3 p.m. Eastern time
Okay.
that they're starting off.
Fair enough. That said, it's Okada Omega. They've constant 5-star matches between these two.
Kind of auto 5-starred.
Yeah, and although this one's not in the Tokyo Dome, so who knows?
Well, that means it's not going to be 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
That's how that scale works.
fair. That's the knowledge I
But
was unaware
people
of.
are calling, don't want to spread hot takes around here on this show.
They old.
But there's some they're old, but some are calling AEW Okada 3-star Okada.
Oh.
Says he's pulling the Shinsuke Nakamura, and like he came and he got that bag, and now he's given like 25% effort.
So, New Japan, Shinsuke Nakamura, or New Japan, Kazuchika Okada, greatest ever. AEW Okada ain't shit. Is that what you tell me? Outside of the catchphrases, outside of the catchphrases and the things.
Beach, and then the a stern flip off.
No. In all honesty,
it's not my opinion. I'm just saying it's what some are saying.
Yeah, fair. I could probably see where they're coming from, just because of the amount of hype built up into the man when he showed up. It's like, and then I haven't really seen that. At the same time, these two both put off a lot of great matches. They apparently have a fantastic in-ring chemistry with one another. But they are also going into, if not already, 40. So it is one of those things where they may be a step or two slower than before. However, I'm pretty sure Jazz's other least favorite match, WrestleMania 25 had two 40-year-olds in it. And that was fantastic because they had a lot of chemistry against each other, and it's a big event with big stakes on the line. So I'm gonna err on more of the 25 side, where this is gonna be like, hey, it's unsurprisingly a surprisingly good match. It's like, these two, I don't know why I didn't expect it to be 5 stars just because they're old or something. But it's gonna be. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I think that this match is gonna be killer. I think it is going to be the technical, where the evening's finale is going to be the brutality and the aggressiveness. I think this is going to be technicals and counters and I think it's going to be awesome. I think Okada wins.
Okay. I don't know their history.
I don't know their record. I don't, and I don't know.
So-
I don't know either of them too much behind the scenes stuff. But I don't know. I feel like this is maybe Okada's
Okay.
to win.
I could see that. I'm gonna say Omega just to have a differing opinion. But yeah, because I could see Okada win this. I could also see Omega just reestablishing his character being that. And if their history is normally with Okada winning, I can see them thinking, like, because they don't like to act like the independent scene never existed or that New Japan never happened. They get their whole, like, wrestling histories in here. So they could see it as a, and this is if he lost the other matches, as an Omega finally getting over the hump and taking down Okada.
I would assume they'll list somebody, Excalibur or somebody will list their New Japan record against each other for sure. Let's move on to the AEW Women's World Championship, Omari, at All In Texas. It is Timeless Toni Storm versus Mercedes Moné, multi-belt Moné, your current TBS champion, as well as four other championships. This has been an incredibly long reign by Toni Storm. If you include the time during, if you also count the time that her protege held the belt instead of her, when everything was still about her, like all content was still hers. It just kind of feels like one giant reign as opposed to two separated reigns. Do you think it comes to an end here? Do you think Mercedes collects all the belts?
I feel like each belt collected and does that eventually get before the fall gets to that point where they have all the belts. Because it doesn't matter how long you keep them all. You can start losing them the next week, but you had them all at one point. The screenshots there. Bam. This champion. Me. This champion. Me. This champion. Me. This champion. Me. I don't need to do it again. I did it once. There's the proof. That said, she hasn't collected this big belt yet. It has felt like one big Timeless Toni Storm run. I said that wrong. Timeless Toni Storm run. So I could see Mercedes winning this, starting up a like beef between the two biggest women in the company, and then then she can start losing the titles and all of that.
Yeah, I mean, Big Bro Ibn calls her the greatest women's wrestler of all time. I think that's potentially debatable. But that subject is always when you're talking about goats, the goat subject is always debatable. But I every day that passes, I get a stronger and stronger feeling that this is going to be Mercedes' match.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the championship, Omari. AEW Men's World Championship. It is currently Jon Moxley, and he is being challenged against Hangman Adam Page in, of all places, All In Texas, a Texas death match.
Adam Page, baby.
Adam Page, baby.
So not only just because it's Adam Page in a Texas death match, which I think with the exception of the one, he's pretty much won every single one he's been in. I think he lost one to Swerve, if I remember correctly. But so it's a match that's made for this man. Also,
he's already beaten Jon Moxley in a Texas death match in their career.
That as well. Yeah, no, like I said, Adam Page in Texas death matches is not something that you want to fight. It's like fighting, other wrestlers in matches named after them. It's like, well, not named after, but you know what I mean. It's
like
like
fighting the Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell.
yeah, I don't want to do that. Has Taker lost Hell in a Cell matches? Maybe, but
I mean, he lost the original
yeah, but
because his like a fellow legendary character was introduced and distraction finished him.
and then he literally murdered everybody else that fought in the match with him since, just throwing them off the cage, through the cage, just kill everybody else that comes in there. It's like, no, I'm not losing another one of these. But yeah, that and this Death Riders thing, from everything I've heard, has not been the best bride that we could have had, and some say it's been one of the worst rides out there. Love me some Moxley and all, but with this being the WrestleMania, and that's usually when you end long stories, I think the time is right, especially for like an Avengers style.
It's gotten a lot better in 2025, I would say.
What, the Death Riders?
The Death Riders story and the things moving around it, I would say got better in February 2025.
Okay.
We've been riding okay.
Okay. Well, nonetheless, I think this is a good time to put a cap on that particular story arc. And yeah, I got Adam Page winning this. And
yeah, I already laid out basically what I'm kind of predicting to have happen here.
Avengers Assemble.
We've got Avengers Assemble. We've got Adam Page, baby, winning the championship here. So that likely I'm guessing somebody to take it off him, for a heel to take it off him, for then Darby to win it. Then after that. Not to book too far out, and you got an MJF coming here soon too. Maybe it's an MJF winning off of Hangman to then lead to a MJF Darby, two pillars fighting for the championship. Feels appropriate. So that's got to start with Hangman winning it here, and I think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, well, those are our three topics here on You Don't Watch Sports for this Saturday, July 5th. I hope everyone had a fun and safe 4th of July. If you like hearing us talk about nonsense, we just dropped a video where we're talking about wrestling hot takes. There are some real spicy ones out there. We've alluded to a couple of them, but they get spicier. We also have a media show where we share things back and forth, movies, TV shows, animes, whatnot. It's called This Guy Hasn't Seen. You can check that out also on the Feo Grande YouTube channel. Omari, where else can they find you on the internet?
You can also find me on Twitter and Twitch at Giotavi. That is Giotavi. Come on in, stop on by. Streaming Earth Day 240. You know,
doesn't matter what platform.
Doesn't matter what platform. We're streaming Earth Day 240. I've been streaming every day.
240.
Yeah.
You know what that means on any platform.
Yep. It's gonna happen.
All right.
Yeah, we streamed today, for example.
Yeah, like this is streaming.
Yeah.
You streamed it. Yep. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you, Bill, and thank you, everybody else. We'll see you next time. Adios.